Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to one of my favorite parts of Garden State Film Festival, the Filmmaker interviews. I have the pleasure of hosting them. Sophia Lucia Parola here. This is our 23rd year. We are back in the original Asbury Park location and Cranford, New Jersey. You could check out over 200 films this year were accepted, and all various films from all different countries from these two places, Asbury and Cranford, March 27th through March 30th. One of the films you can check out is this amazing short film called Trust Me, Bro. Sorry I said it like that, but that's what that's the voice I hear when I hear it. Here to talk about Trust Me, Bro is the director and co-writer Burns. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. Congratulations to you and the entire cast and crew on making a short film and getting accepted to Garden State Film Festival.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's Asbury Park is basically my old stomping ground too. That's where I frequented a lot. I was a lifeguard in Ocean Grove, like
Oh,
right.
wow.
So we went bowling in that Asbury Park bowling lanes and everything by
Where you're playing, Asbury
yeah,
Lanes.
yeah, it's kind of cool, the full circle.
That is so cool. I love Asbury Park, and I could see it. I could see you there. I really do. There's so many, so many natives that just you also the energy reminds me of. So I'm not surprised to hear you were a Asbury Park native at one point. But congratulations. How's it feel to be accepted into the 23rd year?
I mean, it's always awesome, like to make something that gets recognized.
Right.
It's that people try. And it's a lot, and when you get all the right people together and you get to go have some fun and make something, and then it gets accepted to your hometown, your home state, like film festival. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's a pretty awesome feeling for sure. You
I
know.
love that. Are you going to be like able to come this year and see this film?
There's a
With the
good
audience watching?
chance I'm going to be in Thailand
Oh,
designing a chess movie called Contra. But if things work out and we don't film in Thailand, I'll be able to fly in and
oh,
come.
that's cool. Well,
So, but
congratulations. That sounds
I'm
awesome.
not going to be able to make the quick 3-day flight from Thailand. So,
Thailand
but if
too.
we film in the States, I'm 100% going to be there.
Wow.
We,
Well,
we,
selfishly, I want you to be there, but like filming in Thailand, that's I want you to be there too. So
right.
it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good excuse. The fact that I'm actually making more
It's the
content.
only excuse I
Yeah.
would accept. All right, let's talk about the film. Let's talk about Trust Me, Bro. I loved it. I thought it was so cool and like unique, and I'm excited to talk about it and like see if there's more coming because there's a little
Right.
twist at the end, which we won't give away.
We
So
won't give
first,
that
tell
away.
us about Trust Me, Bro.
So Trust Me Bro was an idea I had. I was filming up in Toronto with a buddy of mine. I was designing a project, and I had a friend from college that would come visit me, and he always like he's the guy that would just like show up at your door and be like, "Yo, man, you want to come do this? We gotta go do this." And like that's kind of where it came from. So I just wanted to make something that was a little fun, a little scary, a little quirky, a little
Mhm.
interesting, that really just brought that. How far would you go for your friend,
Yeah.
especially if it's somebody you've known your whole life? So there was just that feeling like, how do you do that in a short film? You know,
That's a great pitch. How far would you go for your friend? Like that sold. Like, and then that's without even telling anything about this actual film. I'm excited for
right.
people to see it because it's really cool. And like I said, the little twist. I want to see more. So you wrote this along with Garrett Ratcliffe.
Garrett Radcliffe is the writer. Yeah, I came up with the concept. It just
Mhm.
was like 26 pages, and with us analyzing everything with a short film and pulling our resources, we realized that we only had like 2 or 3 days. And Garrett
Mm.
is a professional writer, like award winning. And I just went to him and I was like, "Hey, I've got this 20-page mess. Can you make it into a cohesive, shootable script?" And he's like,
Mm.
"Let me take a stab at it." And that's what you got.
Wow. So you mentioned like funny, quirky, some horror in there. Is this the type of films you gravitate just enjoying or
Oh,
making? Like,
yeah.
is this genre of
I'm
Mhm.
all in on the horror movie and horror comedy train. It's like my favorite.
Mm.
A lot of people can take liberties and make like horror movies because they think they're inexpensive or whatever, and you can get away. But there's just something great about that, like
Mhm.
that you can watch a horror movie or a horror comedy and laugh at, all the silliness and the
Yeah.
terrible blood and the goop, and that stuff's just always been fun to me.
Wow.
I've always liked telling stories and reading stories that are a little weird, little quirky, little goofy. I did a lot of improv and stand-up comedy for a while, but horror has always been my go-to. Like I love
Mm.
it. I think it's the best.
One of the things I think is so cool about horror, like I was never a huge fan of watching horror films, although I love I love all film communities, but specifically the horror community. It's like the special effects, sometimes when we do practical, like the people it brings together, I think is so cool, but especially the fans. There's such a big horror fan base, and we see that like Terrifier has premiered at Asbury Park,
Oh,
Garden
sure.
State Film Festival a bunch of times. Huge horror, the horror block. I was in one a couple years ago. It's awesome. Brings so many cool people together. So what goes into directing something like kind of in this genre? Like what's really important for you as a director and when it comes to pulling off like the comedy and the horror and the grounded in realness too?
Right. It's definitely harder to pull off horror and comedy at the same time
Mm,
without leaning into something. So like Terrifier you just mentioned, amazing, but they really lean into the humor and the gore and how ridiculous
mhm,
it is. So when you're trying to keep it grounded,
mhm.
because I think if we did Trust Me Bro and we didn't stay grounded
Yeah.
in the little bit of realism, we would have lost a lot with our, at, in the short itself. Like I think we
Mhm,
either given away something. But as a director, I want to expand into both realms. Like I want to expand into horror and comedy, but always kind of mash them
mm.
together, down the line. Like you're an actress though, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a horror movie?
Yeah, like so just I think maybe like 2, and one of the first I think 2. And one of the first was really in Garden State Film Festival and, like, that block, and then people it's just really cool what it brings together, and I work with some of the people from Terrifier who worked on Terrifier, so, like, I'm around a lot of horror film people.
Right. Yeah. It's
But
a
acting
the culture, acting in it was enough.
yes.
It's super fun, right?
So fun, and what you mentioned was, like, even though it's hard probably to, like what you're saying, tread, like, with the comedy and the horror, unless you're leaning so into it, I think your film is beautiful mix, and like you said, is so grounded. Sometimes with horror, it's hard to keep the acting grounded too, because it could be too absurd or not believable. And it's so
Right.
great to see powerful acting, which I see in Trust Me, Bro. So talk to me about
We
getting the
we
cast
lu
together.
we lucked out with the casting on this.
Mhm.
Derek, he plays the JR character, the very tall guy, and he's been friends of mine, for forever. Like, he was trying to get on a Blue Mountain State when we were filming it in Wilmington. I didn't know him, and he kept calling me and calling me because a buddy gave him his phone number. I'm like, I can't stand this guy. And then he shows up to film on set, and we all loved him. Like, we instantly fell
Mhm.
in love with him. So I've been just friends with him forever, but I was like, man, I got bad news for you. It's gonna be really hard to cast you as you're 6'8", like in anything. Like
Is
casting is
he really? Oh,
6'8". So
can't
like
tell.
there's a lot. Well, that's what we cheated. Like we
Uh-huh.
figured out how to film him because I wanted him to be in it. But
Yeah.
he's a very good actor and balanced with Ryan Francis. Ryan Francis goes all the way back to Hook. He was Peter Pan in Hook, and he's got a massive career as a
Wow.
very established actor and producer, but he's never done comedy. And I was like, Ryan, you gotta just give me a chance to try doing this in the comedic beats.
Mhm.
And we really worked out their awkwardness together as friends, the one tall friend, but the one,
Yeah.
bravado. But we really leaned into Ryan Francis's beats and pacing. Um, and he nailed the comedy timing on it. It was fantastic. And Walt, who's played by Ava Hart, she's just been a friend of mine forever. She's always been a model, but wanted to get into acting. And she lived here in Charleston with me. And I was like, you got to move to somewhere like Atlanta and start doing it. So she moved to Atlanta and has been doing successful as an actress there. But
Mhm.
she came back to help me out, because we all made no money on that. We all just spent, it was a passion project,
Mhm.
put all of our resources in. It was supposed to be a 3-day shoot and we had a tornado. So we had to cut a little bit down.
Ah,
It was nuts, but we got through it. It was really fun and everyone was freezing cold. the guy that plays Mr. Haskerson, like the old guy, he's just some Canadian guy who's been my best friend and college roommate's dad. Like he never acted a day in his life. He was so afraid every single day, but he was adorable with it. And he was
Wow.
super and stuck through. And like his outfit was just, he was cold, so we're like, just go with it, like, so
Uh,
there's a lot of leaning into some things and,
mhm,
embracing Derek being a 6'8" person and Ryan Francis being 5'10", like,
mhm.
bring that out to make it feel better, I
Yeah.
guess, it made us all work harder, and we only had 2 lights, so they had to move in a line instead of
Wow.
being able to shuffle back and forth. So, like you figure out ways,
This is the epitome of, like, what you hear you have to make do, make the impossible do. Anything you run what do they call it? Negentropy or something? Like, you're gonna run into chaos, so you have to, like, have plan B, C, D, E,
Right.
all that.
That's the best part of being a filmmaker is like there are people that need it set and have their shot list and have like everything drawn out, moved and set down. And sometimes you just got to go with what you have available to you to make what you can, And that's the other thing, the fact that this made it to Garden State and with the limited resources that we had, it was just
Yeah.
all fun favors, like all came together to make
It
it.
really you can't tell any of this when that's why I'm like so engrossed in what you're saying, and that's why I love movie magic, as they say. And what I love about film, you cannot tell any of this. Can't tell it was so cold. Can't tell that, like, even this actor, I thought he was a comedian. I thought because he was
Mm,
so grounded and
yeah,
real, and I was like, oh, he seems like he's
nailed it.
because a lot of comedians are very authentic and just themselves and like that straight
Right.
pan, not straight pan, but like the kind of comedy. It just seemed like he was so. And like, yeah, the guy looked tall, but I did not think he was 6'8" compared to
Hey,
someone a foot
yeah,
tall, like
it's
lower.
gigantic human being.
Y'all
Yeah,
pulled it off.
yeah. But yeah, so it's super fun. Like finding and Fish Murr, who played the girlfriend, all
Mhm,
these people were fun. The guy that's the weird guy in the gas station,
mhm.
that's my set decorator when I design stuff, like but he nailed it. Like we greased up his
Yeah,
hair and like I don't know, it was just a bunch of friends
yeah.
doing what they love, working together. We knew that we were going to try and submit it to a few film festivals, but we've been getting into so many of them and like winning a couple, and it's just like, this is amazing. It's like
Not what you expected?
no, like I mean, we weren't expecting to win, like riff, like best horror
Yeah.
comedy and win their, audience choice. Like that's
Wow,
the one.
wow, yeah.
You can win one, that's the one, and it's just kind of cool going full circle and going back to Jersey. Like it's gonna be
Mhm.
really exciting to see what all the people think of it, like
Yeah,
that are from my neck of the woods. Like my brother and my brothers are gonna go, and even if I can't make it, a bunch of our team
mhm.
is
Your
gonna
people
go.
will be there.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I
Oh,
think
good.
I think a few
Well,
of the actors are gonna go.
this film deserves an amazing audience, and it's in a great block, which we'll talk about at the end. I want to ask you a couple more questions before we got like 2 more minutes. But you mentioned a lot of it. Like, I feel like I love asking filmmakers kind of like what makes a successful film. Like, what do you learn in your process that other filmmakers might take? And you guys pulled this off.
Right.
Doesn't look like anything you're saying. Obviously, you ran into some problems. You made it work, and
Yes.
it's an amazing film. So what contributes to that? Like, what are a couple things that you've learned in your career, amazing career,
But,
so far?
if you introduce something, how small it is, try and close its story. Like like
Mhm,
as a director, even if it's not written, if they introduce something, try and close its story. Like in the movie Bullet Train, there's a water bottle. That water bottle has a full story arc. It's just like
mm,
the small things that might seem insignificant and close the story. And
hmm,
also get along with your editor. Like go in there. Don't be afraid to, work with like do a new edit or a repass. Like
yeah,
everyone is an art form. And do what you love. Like if it's
mhm,
fun and you're having a good time, you're gonna make a better product without you know
absolutely.
surround yourself with your friends. Happy Madison it. Make the best thing that you can. and also see everything. Watch every movie. Like, go watch it. Go to the theaters. Like, we're the only
Mhm.
people left going to the theaters. Like, let's support ourselves. Let's go to the theaters. If you're the only person in there, I just went and saw Hard Eyes sitting there with my popcorn, 3 people in the theater, go support everyone,
Mhm.
you know,
Yes.
support your local filmmakers, go, don't ask them for a free download. Go see it in the theater.
Yep.
Right.
I love that. Especially film, so much of it is asking for help and money if you can and coming on. It's amazing just to show support.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love asking people that question. And sometimes we get a lot of the similar answers, which makes sense. They're all valid, but I haven't I haven't heard that, like that type of advice. Now I want to ask you what I know you have a lot going on in your personal life. If you want to shout anything out, like personal and career.
Yeah.
But I want to know, is there anything in the future for Trust Me, Bro? Like I know you guys didn't expect to win and where it's going, but it seems like there's like a series that can go on or a second film, like or a
Right.
feature film. Like this is a really cool concept and you left it kind of
N-
open.
Now that it's getting a lot of traction,
Mhm.
we've made it into a proof of concept for a TV show. That would be that would,
Okay.
that would be an 8-episode arc, you know.
Wow.
So we have 2 different versions of it. One's a 90-page feature, but I don't know. Like, once people watch it, they'll understand why we kind of want to spend a little bit more time with it.
Mhm.
We want to just keep making. We want you to question every episode.
Yeah.
We want you to
I
be
can
like,
see it.
what? Wait a second. Like every episode.
It's such a cool concept, and I love seeing things that, like, hasn't been done before. Sometimes you see a similar story and it's told different, but, like, I'm like, "Well, I've never seen something like this." I
Thank
love it. Well, congratulations to you and
you.
everyone involved. I could talk to you all day, but let's close this off. We're over time. Let me tell everyone how you can see Trust Me, Bro, and hopefully meet you or anyone else
Yeah.
involved. It will be playing Saturday, March 29th in Asbury Lanes. The film block is 6:15 to 8:15 p.m. I already just interviewed someone tonight in the same film block, another great film. So I know it's gonna be a great block. I'm super excited for audiences to see Trust Me, Bro. Burns, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us today, and congratulations again.
Well, appreciate it. Have a nice one, and I'll see you guys there if I can.
I
Looking
hope so, or have a great trip in Thailand.
We're having
Thank
time.
you. Thank you. We'll see you guys there. Visit gsff.org for your